first one in the section. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, Dave Walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker, change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. Oh, it's time to bleed this morning. There's a lot I want to get into. Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Come on in, smash the like button. I need everybody to go subscribe to Bear Cave Entertainment. Let's run those numbers up. We've been doing a brilliant job over there, but we need more than one firearm in the holster. You understand what I'm saying? So let me pin this for y'all on all my channels. Y'all go subscribe to Bear Cave Entertainment. Go subscribe to Bear Cave Entertainment. That's my nerd channel. You feel me? That's also a backup channel. I'm dual streaming because, you know, let's not leave it up to Miguel or his boyfriend Jerome to do anything for us. We are our own algorithm. So let's do this roll call. Yeah, Thomas, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send the link to you on the I'm gonna send it to you on your personal email. Wait a minute. Make sure I have it. Make sure. Yep. I sent it to you, brother. I sent it to you just now on your email. Let's do this roll call real quick because I want to get to this. My brother Ratchet since 91, salute. Cop Aborigines, Shaquilla Fields, salute. Queen, Coach Hudson in the building. Tim Harmon, salute. DP Rocker, Del Riff, Dion next up. Mr. Shelton, salute. Oh, it jumped on me that fast. Damn. Mac of the South. Mind of Mansa Musa. Jamel, what up? Oh, man. You gotta forgive me. I'm on some medication. So I might sound a little slow motion today, but it's okay. I'm all right. I'm just resting. Jeff Sparks, salute. Rod Neal, Houston in the building. Boxing Talk, salute. You said funny because I have Teofimo beating Shakur. Well, I mean, you're entitled to that. You're entitled to that. I hope they even get to the ring. But we're going to talk about it. Aaron Butler, salute. 4-ounce sniper, salute. Okay. Prolific one, salute to everybody. If I miss you, know that I love you. Come on in, smash the like button. All right. So my brother Thomas, let me be clear because he's gonna join us in a minute. He dual streams with a fella by the name of Rich. I'll let him tell him your name. He's an old school cat. Used to do some writing out here in New York, and Teofimo was actually on Rich's show, but he dual streamed on Thomas's platform, and they had Teofimo up there, and look, I'm just going to start out saying that I didn't like it. I didn't like it because first and foremost, let's just get this out the way. You already know how I feel personally about Teofimo Lopez, and I can say that personally because the things that he said, if you're black, you took it personal. If you're one of those that say, oh, he wasn't talking to me, no, then you need to stay the F away from me. But the where he went was beyond boxing, and I don't appreciate it. And you're gonna see in a minute, he never apologized for it, and he stands on what he said because he feels some kind of way for whatever his reasons are. All right, Stormy, salute, Stormy. Noah, salute. So I want you guys to understand something. Guys like him and Ryan Garcia, they said what they said and they stood on it. Ryan said, I'm not apologizing. He said it when he was high, and he didn't do it when he was sober. I want you guys to understand that. The reason why I have that 11 million there is because that's what was offered to him to fight Devin Haney. And the reasons for him not fighting Devin was not only nonsense when he said he didn't want to fight him, but he stood on it on a show last night. Now, Thomas sent me the questions in detail, what he was going to ask Teofimo Lopez. Now, again, we all know how I feel personally about him, right? But that doesn't mean that I can't be professional when asking these questions. These were fair questions. They were very articulate. They weren't what I call beef questions. You know, it's not the time for that. You give him you give him literally the rope to hang himself. And I say this respectfully to the fella, his name is Rich. I say this respectfully to him. The things that he said to Tio, he didn't deserve it. I'll just say that, Rich, if you ever get to see this. He didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve your respect. Not sure if you knew the things that he said. You had to have heard some things, but the credit that you gave this man, it's not deserved. It's really not. It's really not. And on the outside looking in, I sent a lot of people that live. I sent it to Champ side over the DM, and then when the live was over, I DM'd the response. I said, never mind. So you don't need to see that. You don't need to see that. Yeah, DP, he said that. He's an ambassador to the sport. I'm like, what are you talking? Wow. Now, Thomas had these questions written out. Beezy, salute. But it wasn't his show. Like I said, he dual streamed. It was really Rich's show. So for him to ask those questions, I understand that, you know, maybe it'll put Rich in a bad spot, which is what you're going to hear it. You know, maybe Rich didn't want to answer that, but you know what? My advice to Rich, and I know he's an elder, you know, he's a little older than me, but I need Rich to understand social media. And I know Rich, he has some accolades. He was in like what we call real media. So he has a lot of experience. So I'm sure there's a lot I can learn from Rich as far as journalism goes. And I say this respectfully. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to show you. You're going to look at Thomas' face when certain things are said. You know, look, man, if I could say something to Rich, and I'm not above like talking to him. Social media, like on your channel, you should be able to ask the hard questions where conventional media is not going to. If you have an athlete in front of you and they're going through something or dealing with something, you know, or they're ducking fights, and you know in your heart of hearts that it's not right, you're not on no HBO payroll. You're not on the New York Post, the Daily News payroll. You're there to ask the questions. And if they don't want to talk to you, after that, fine. But as a journalist, and I'm going to assume that he's a journalist by trade. I'm going to assume he has a lot more credentials than I do in journalism. But God damn it, man, that's what makes us on social media different. Because we have a responsibility to the truth. Look at Blue Blood Sports TV. He has a lot of inside information. He just tells you how it is. You take it how you want to take it. Okay, my brother, Ticket TV with basketball, same thing. The General. He asks those questions. He asks the real questions that some fighters don't talk to him no more, namely Keith Thurman. No doubt, Thomas, no doubt. You got the link. Keith Thurman, when he was one time, he spoke to 78 all the time. And then when he let the business get the better of him, all of a sudden he won't answer the phone no more because the general has some questions. Look, man, if you're doing something in your career, that's going to make the public ask you a question, as an athlete, it will do you well. It would do you well to answer those questions, man. Bill Haney's all over the place. He's not only catching strays, he's catching bullets that are meant for him online. But he's engaging the smoke. Don't nobody pull no punches with him. So I don't know why, a lot of the guys from old media, as we call it, they get on YouTube and they try and do the same thing. It doesn't work. My brother, No Smoke TV in the building, salute. True Boxing Night, salute. He doesn't deserve, and this is last but not least, and I'm saying this respectfully, Rich. Teofimo Lopez doesn't deserve your respect at all. He doesn't deserve your respect. He doesn't. Now, I don't know whether you knew or not what kind of person he was. I don't know if you, and I'm not putting this on you. I don't know if you agreed with things. I don't know if you're just saying, oh, he's just selling fights. And I don't know what your stance on it was. But I needed those questions answered, man. And Thomas had questions lined up, and they weren't like argumentative questions. They were just questions, man. And I think we, as supporters of the sport, deserve some real answers with no audience around and nobody to like physically get on him or nothing. Made him feel safe. You're online, bro. Make him feel safe, but ask the questions, man. Because there was a lot of black fight fans that really, really supported Tio until that point. Do you care about that fan base? I was one of them. And then you did that, man. I mean, come on, that's not fair. And then for you to turn around and call him an ambassador of the sport? No doubt, young Abel. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. This is the start of the interview. I'm gonna be pausing in the increments.
I was getting my doubts, but I should never doubt the champ. And there he is, the takeover, Teofimo Lopez. Hey, white champ, I had my doubts, but you're here.
Yes.
How you doing today? I know you're busy, and I appreciate this time. I really do. It's a pleasure to have you on here one-on-one with Tommy D, my co-host. And, we were talking about this potential, reportedly, maybe fight with you and Shakur Stevenson. And can you confirm anything on that as of now?
As of now, my team is pretty much, setting everything up as far as like contractuals go. And I think that people should be in tune on seeing an announcement very soon.
Now, that would be sometime in January in New York City, as we discussed the other night at Barclays Center. Any idea where it would be? Have you heard any venue possibilities, champ?
A lot is going on at the moment, especially when it comes to.
Hey, Blue, is this how he says it's gonna be? Because we never know with this guy. Well, I'm asking you, Blue. What do you know? Is this guy for real or what?
The magnitude of fights like this, I think that my team is really focused on something early of the first quarter of this year. And with that being said, obviously, I think the fans would love for the fight to be hosted in New York, here in the East Side, in the East Coast. However, it's up to the people in Saudi what they want to do with it. If they believe it makes sense in the U.S., it could land in Vegas, it could land in New York, it can even land in somewhere in Texas. Who knows? I know.
Why would he be fighting Shakur in Texas? Anybody know? Why would? You see what I mean with this guy? Why would he be? Okay. All right, man. I'm gonna let him talk.
So what I know at the moment, and it looks promising that it could happen here in the U.S.
Yeah, would you love to do it in New York? And this is where you
I
have a
just
lot of your
I just
supporters. And
wanna. I mean, for the fans and everything, absolutely. You know, I would love for it to be there so that people can really be there for a historic night when I give Shakur Stevenson his first.
All right, cool. He's trying to. Okay. Blue say he's trying to do a supercar in January. Is it gonna be in New York or is it gonna be in Saudi?
Pause. So I think that that's really what I would like. However, you know, as long as we get a fight going and we get the ball rolling and moving, I think that that's all that really matters. You know, people want to see me in the ring already, and I think they want to see me now rather than next year.
yeah, Tom had brought up some of your inactivity. You haven't fought since beginning of May.
Yeah,
And I know you want to keep busy. I know you. That's how you are.
yeah.
You remind me, as we discuss so much, of the old school fighter that has.
Okay. Okay. That right there. That right there. Thomas, what's good, brother?
What's going on, bro? What's going on, Drew? What's going
Chilling,
on,
chilling.
chat? Everybody, hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, it was pretty awkward last night doing this. You'll see my facial expressions at times. Got caught off guard at times because I'm looking at my phone at times as well. People making me laugh, like Mr. Shelton, and Mr. Shelton does that all the time, by the way, not just last night. But yeah. Oh, just to touch up on this, I mean, the rumor is New York, though, and I think Matthias and Dalton Smith is supposed to be on this card as well. Is another fight I can't get, and I was trying to say it last night, and I couldn't get it off the top of my head. But there's like 2 or 3 fights already been in talks, and they say in January in New York, but the venue they have to look for the venue because Madison Square Garden is tough because of the Rangers and Knicks are playing right now. So that's what the word, and they're not going to do it in the Hulu Theater. It would be if it is in the Garden. So that's the rumor, but rumors are rumors. You don't know if they're true or not. But those have been floating around even before we spoke to Tio last night. That was the rumor. It was January, and the location was New York. So,
Blue
but with
said,
that being said, you know, I was listening and yeah, it was awkward. I was debating whether or not to even stream it on my channel because I wanted to be able to ask him what I wanted to ask him, right? And if I wasn't going to be doing that, I didn't want my audience to see me like just sit there, which is kind of what I did, out of respect for Rich. Now,
right,
I
right,
don't know if people, unless you're in New York or in the tri-state area, Rich Mancuso's been a journalist for about 40 plus years. He's
right.
been on WFAN numerous times. He's written in the Daily News. I believe he's written in the Post, and he still writes for a couple of websites, Latino Sports, which I always find funny because he's Italian, but he writes for He writes for Latino Sports, and I think Sports USA Sports. That's a USA Sports News. That's another website. But he's been doing this for a long time. He's covered wrestling and boxing. He's numerous interviews with a lot of wrestlers. He's traveled with a lot of wrestlers back then. There's rumors that I don't know if Drew, you ever remember the Slammer every Friday in the
Yeah,
Daily
yeah,
News?
yeah, yeah.
There was
I
a
do.
rumor that he's the Slammer, and he denies that, and still people kind of think that he is. So he's been around. Basically, what I'm trying to say, he's been around for a long time, and
Right.
he's up there in age, and it's a new era now, and I was trying to explain that to him, but he was more excited for the fact to have Tio on his show, and he's trying to build his YouTube channel, and I've been helping him as well as he helps me as far as getting contacts. He helps me with credentials at times too, so. But I was advised not to do it as well. Now, another thing that I do besides YouTube, I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm also on the radio every weekend. It airs out in San Francisco. It's on sportsbyline.com, and I'm on with Pedro Fernandez, who's also been a journalist, and he's been, a writer for over 40 years as well. And, he's worked with Don King Promotions as well too. And Pedro advised me not to do it. And he said, listen, if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it, because if you can't say what you want to say, you know, don't do it. You know, that and he was telling me like he built a reputation of Poison Pen Pedro because he didn't care what anybody thought. He just wrote it. So that was his advisement, and even Drew advised me as well. Like, you know, but I really thought that I was going to be able to ask what I wanted to ask, and I even had the questions, and I did it in a professional manner. It wasn't too aggressive. Drew seen it. I sent it to KG. I sent it to 2 other people as well, and they said these are good questions. But the thing was, I wasn't able to ask these questions. And even when I kind of got into it with like a little back and forth with me and Tio, it seemed like a little bit awkward. And Rich cut in. Like when we got to the Devin Haney, he cut in on it and he was trying to clean it up. So at that point, it was in my mind, this is Rich's show, and I'm gonna respect what he wants to do. But after the fact, when you get to it, after we said, I kind of told Rich, like, you know, you was kind of kissing his ass, you know what I'm saying? So, but you know, Rich is a good guy. It's just that he doesn't kind of understand where we at and what's been going on. I think he knows of it and what's going on. He's more looking at it like, you know, more publicity and more attention to him and his channel. Like, oh, we got Tio, which is great. Like, to get somebody like Tio on is a great thing, but you got to take advantage of it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So, and I appreciate that to get to talk to Tio. But I spoke to Tio in person too, and I wanted to bring that up as well. I wanted to kind of transition.
All right, so tell
you know,
tell people, because most people don't know this. And first and foremost, he has to know the controversy in reference to surrounding Teofimo Lopez. He can't be that busy not to know.
He does, because we spoke about it on this very show when they've happened. So
that's why I don't respect it. And that's why at the end of the show, I asked you to put up what I said at the very end of the show. But with that being said, a lot of people don't know. Tell them about, remember when I was invited to that fight that night, and I didn't go because I know me, and it was still fresh on my mind. I said, I can't be around this kid. You know what I mean? Now tell the audience what he did when you asked that question.
Oh, okay. Well, and I wanted to bring it up, and I had a really good way of bringing it up, because what's funny is the night before, so 2 nights ago, we spoke to Eric Kelly. Eric Kelly is a known trainer out here in New York. He's a little bit crazy, but he was a top guy in the amateurs. He came up with Andre Ward. He fought Andre Ward. They have a really great relationship. Like, anybody that's in the New York area and that knows boxing in New York knows who Eric Kelly is. With that being said, Eric Kelly, we asked him, and that was on BVO show. Shout out to BVO. Eric Kelly, and he said great things about Tio. So what I was going to do, I said, you know, a lot of people say great things about you, but at the same time, you have done and said some controversial things. And I said, even me and you, we had kind of something that happened. I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring up another friend of mine who's a coach and trainer that refuses to say anything about Tio. His quote was this. He says, don't ask me to say anything about Tio, because I won't do it. I love Tio because he's been nothing but good to me. And I said, I respect that. And when I told him what I'm about to tell you guys, he was like, no, Tio didn't do this. But this actually happened. So this is after the Michaela Mayer fight. Michaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan, after the fight, we was there outside, and they were interviewing Tio. After they interviewed him, people were asking about the comment. It was very fresh about the comment, what he said about, it was Tank Davis and I believe Bud Crawford, and it's the interview he did with Broadway Joel, where he's like, you know, whichever monkey wants to get the banana, right? And that was it. So people had asked him about that, and he was saying something, and then I came out and I said out loud, and I said, you know what, Tio, I give you a lot of props, because you say some crazy things, but you know, you be out here. You always at the fights. Every time I'm here at the fights, you're always out here. So that was me giving a compliment, like saying, like, you don't type it on, you know, the Twitter fingers. You're there anyway, like, you know, avoiding issues. And he's pretty much by himself most of the time, him and his father, right? It's not like he's with an entourage or anything like that. So I was me trying to give him props. He took it as like, well, you know why I say these things? You know why I go around and I do this and I show up? And then it was funny because some people in the background, it was media guys, they were saying, oh, you know, put the cameras down, like, you know, put the cameras away, let him say it. And he tells me, and he tells them, but I think it was to me. I think he kind of like G-checked me a little bit, chumped me. He goes, well, I say this because ain't nobody going to do anything to me, because if anything happens to me, and their whole families too. And I was like, oh, okay, wow. So when he said that, I was just like kind of thrown off, and everybody's like, wow, because, and he kind of got in depth, like, nobody's going to do anything, because if anything happens to me, obviously something's going to happen to them, you know? So
So he's super thug. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, and that made it kind of a little bit uncomfortable at that point, and people there, no cameras were there to film it. And it's funny that very next day or the day after, I think he was on Cameron's and Mace's show. I think that same weekend or whatever, that same Monday or whatever it was. So, you know, and I wanted to bring that up and tell him that. And I was like, what did you mean by this? Like, you know, and you know, I wanted to have a discussion, and I wasn't going to be aggressive or be a jerk or whatever. Like I said, the questions that I had, you saw the questions, they were in good taste. They gave him the opportunity to kind of cop out, but he could have maybe said something where I could have, you know, gave a counter question to it.
Right.
And I never got really that opportunity. The only opportunity I had was when we asked him about the Devin Haney fight, and I countered with Bud, and then I was going to counter with Boots, and Rich cut me off, and I was getting somewhere. And in respect to Tio, he gave a good answer there, a good cop-out answer, you know, politically correct, whatever you want to call it. He was ready for it, but once I would have brought up Boots and, you know, and continued, then he really would have had no way out. But that's where I'm at with it. It was pretty awkward for me. But in respect to Rich, because Rich is, you know, he's my friend, and I helped him out. I do his show behind the scenes. I'm in the controls, moving the pictures, the video, because he don't know how to do any of that. He's almost 70, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and he helps me as far as like getting the interviews, even not with just fighters, with trainers, referees. You know, I had interviews with sports writers. You know, I had Dick Weiss on. Anybody knows Dick Weiss? He's like a college basketball guy. You know, so he's helped me with all of that. So it's kind of like give and take. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it. I'm very disappointed. We're supposed to have a discussion later today and speak about it. And finally, I just want to add one more thing. My wife was pissed with me as well, because, you know, I was stressed out about it the day before, and I was like, yo, I don't really want to do this, and like I just feel like it's gonna be a bad look. And when it was all said and done, she was like, you see, she's like, you see, you don't listen to me. She's like, you shouldn't have done it. But yeah, that's what you guys are gonna see it. But I just wanted to go up here and kind of give like a PSA and let people know what's going on and stuff, because that was not my intention. And I wanted to ask the tough questions, not be disrespectful, and give him the opportunity to ask, because I know what Teal would have done. He would, like, you know, he would have cut the interview off and he would have bounced. So yeah.
And I knew that. That's why when you sent me the questions, I was like, well, this is as politically correct as it can be, and he just has to answer it. And I think Rich saved him from that. So, you know, my advice to Rich would be, I don't know if I'll ever speak to him or not. Irrelevant. Sugar-free Mars, I see you, my queen. Here's the deal. He has to decide who he wants to be. All right. Either you're gonna ask the hard-nosed questions and hold these, but you know, by holding them accountable, by asking these questions, or you're not. Because this was, you know, look, and I say this respectfully. I know he's almost 70 years old, but look, man, I understand that your media, you understand? And you have to have a certain demeanor when you're talking to these guys. But at this point in the game, you have to decide who you want to be. If you want to be an old media guy and ask these dancy questions to make him feel comfortable, then do that. And I'm, you know, to Rich, I won't support that because I already know what I'm going to get. All right. I want to talk like the questions the way you had it written out. You wasn't coming for Teal. You was giving him an opportunity to explain himself. Now, if he don't want to do that, then that's just something else.
Yeah.
But the way, and I'm talking to the family now. The questions were very professionally written. And you see Blue in the chat. He understands this because he's around this all the time. So I understand. So now he made Teal feel comfortable. But at no point, you didn't even get a chance to ask those questions, and the questions weren't with attitude. They were asking him about certain things that he's done. In the beginning, the questions had nothing to do with the monkey shit. It had everything to do with why he didn't take certain fights, namely the 11 million. Mm-hmm. After saying you never made $1 million, and here come Turkey with 11 of those things for you. And you still said no. And he says it in this interview. He stands on it. I didn't like how Devin fought last fight. But then I heard him in another interview. He said, well, not that I don't have any confidence in my style, but I just don't like. So you never made $1 million. and you're offered 11 and you still won't take the fight. But well, how do you explain, you know, the franchise status and Devin being up next and you not doing it? And it's his fault he lost to George Kambosos. Those aren't threatening questions. Those aren't aha moments. That's not you coming for him. That's you asking him and seeing what he says. That's all that is. And I felt that Rich stepped on that.
Yeah,
I felt that he stepped on that. And
he copped out. The questions I had gave him a chance to cop out a little bit, but it would have got a reaction out of him. So like in one of the questions, it's pretty much a yes no question, and I got to ask him that a little bit, and I kind of segue it because he was kind of speaking about like how he's helping the young kids and how what he would want to do is help the young kids learn how to do more interviews, interview better, right? I think he mentions that in here. We'll see that how to interview better, and I kind of segue. It was like, but do you? And then I asked him, do you have any regrets for anything you have said? I didn't get in particular.
Right.
And yeah, and he said, yeah, you know, I did some things, but he said at the end of the day, no regrets. Right, but I couldn't get to touch up on it, and the point was to touch up on it. So no regrets for, you know, I couldn't, because my follow-up would have been like, so you have no regret for some of the controversial things you said as far as, you know, and I would have mentioned fighters, I would have mentioned, you know, Bud Crawford, you know, and I would have mentioned Devin Haney, I would have mentioned what people would have wanted me to ask and what I wanted to ask, you know, and that was the way the questions were designed. It was not a setup, but it would have gave him, you know, access to say, you know, I'm not getting at him. I'm giving him the chance to respond in his way. You feel what I'm trying to say? I don't know if it's coming across.
I feel you. Now I said this before you pull up, but it bears repeating. And see what Coach Hudson said? You got Bill Haney, Norman Sr., Abdullah Mason. These guys take shots. They go to the channels that talk all kinds of negative rhetoric about them. And they're not catching strays. They're catching bullets that are meant for them. And they pull up and do it. So my advice to Rich would be, listen, don't baby this kid, especially him, because it makes people look at you a certain way. He was supposed to let those questions fly, especially since he had them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play through the interview, and we'll stop it accordingly.
To be in there, and I know you like to fight 3-4 times a year if you could, and we know that's not.
Does he really like to fight 3 or 4 times a year? I mean, come on.
No,
he doesn't. So why is he? That was what you call leading the witness. That's what you call leading the witness. I didn't agree with that, so already I was annoyed. I was like, what the fuck? But I let it go.
Possible with everything that goes on, but champ.
There go BVO.
BVO be a BVO. Like he pissed me off too. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, come on, man. But BVO supposedly has his number 2, and he's trying to set something up. So let's see what happens. But you know, BVO's gonna, you know, he's gonna dance around with him. He's gonna salsa merengue. He's gonna do all of that with this guy.
Right,
you know, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, BVO.
First of all, coming off the Barbosa fight, before I bring Tom into the picture, how you feeling? Everything is good. And you're staying in shape. And by the way, you got a career after you get out of the ring, because you did a great job on Millions pay-per-view the other night, my friend.
Thank you, Rich. That means a lot coming from you and someone that's been in the game far longer than before I was born. You know, so I think that it means a lot coming from you. Nevertheless, though, you know, a lot of people say I haven't fought. I fight once a year and this and that, and that's not really the case. It's not, you know, leading up to the 140 division, when I came into it, I fought 3 times in a matter of 10 months, you know, but many people out there just don't really speak on that. They speak on just the inactivity that they see and they want to believe, you know, but hitting at this stature of boxing now, you know, you see great fighters fight twice a year, if anything, you know, and that's it. So it kind of sucks in that way. I think the only one that's really pushing that needle right now is Inouye at 4 times this year. You know, that's what he's aiming at. And I think
Inouye fought 4 times this year, and they have him on that pound for pound list. Well, you know what? I don't want to sidetrack, but whatever.
That's what I'm looking forward to possibly doing in 2026, you know? So, but in the meantime, just staying active, staying honestly ready for anything and everything.
Now, BVO, what the fuck, bro?
I can't.
You gotta stop playing, bro. What are you doing? Really, man? Jesus.
Everything. I would like to face other opposition out there, but when it comes to these promoters, managers, and so on and so forth, coaches, it makes it a little bit difficult for everybody.
Yeah, you're 28 years of age and you still got a lot of time. A lot of time. But you're young enough to keep going.
But you can't rely on that in this sport.
No, not in boxing. We know that. We know that. As strong and as athletic as you are.
Can I ask y'all a question real quick? Thomas, what the fuck is an atom weight?
Oh, that's it's like a low division weight. Those little chinitos, they be fighting in those, the Filipinos.
It's lower than
like
straw weight?
I think it's like 108 or something like that. It's like the lowest weight, I think.
There's grown ass men, 108 pounds.
they're like horse jockeys fighting.
Oh my God. No thanks.
And that Barbosa fight, you stole the show. There's no doubt about it in Times Square.
He stole the show with the Barbosa fight. But Rolly Romero beat Ryan Garcia. You see? Now we're already a couple of minutes in and I was listening and I'm like, oh my God, what is he doing? See?
The beginning in May. All right, Tom, it's your chance to
Now here's where I thought he was rolling out the red carpet for you.
question the champ a little bit. And Tommy D, this is Teofimo Lopez. You might have seen Tommy with me at ringside.
Yeah, I've seen Tino a few times, Tio. So what's good to you, man? Salute to you. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you, showing love to my man Rich, man, because he was worried. I'm not gonna lie. He was worried that you wasn't gonna know show. You know what I'm saying? But
I have that about fighters and all athletes in my career, but not Teofimo. He's here.
Yeah.
So like real quick, so basically, are you confirming that Shakur is pretty much the next guy? Is it Shakur? Because a lot of rumors out there saying that Manny Pacquiao might have been on that list as well as an opponent.
I'm grateful to be in the position I'm in. That's really it. Really, I think that trying to get these other fights involved, it's been a little bit hard, especially in this division. Not a lot of people have that backing of a fan base or name in this weight division. I think there's guys that have to come up in my weight, or I have to meet them up. And I think that's the only way it makes sense for everybody to come into play. A lot of people want to see me eventually with me and Hitchens, but from what I've heard on the behind the scenes, they still need him to build up his fan base, his name, and it kind of.
You heard that? He needs to build up his fan base or name. So that's why they damn near had an orgy amongst themselves in the ring. When he called Teofimo in the ring, he called him up to throw his tongue down his throat.
Kind of bothers me in the sense, but this is the whole new strategy for boxing now. It's a business. More.
Oh yeah, yep. It's a business, right? Yeah, keep listening.
More than it's ever been. So it's not about just I like you, let me fight you, and let's make this happen for the people out there. It's more so it's gonna make money for everybody. But going to it, yeah, me and Shakur, obviously he's willing to fight me. I'm willing to defend my world titles once again against a fighter like him. I think that there's no reason, there's no doubt for it to not happen. It's just people got to understand when it comes to things like this, it takes a little longer. That's just what it is. It takes a little longer.
To put a mega fight together like that, it's a mega fight. Yeah, it's not going to happen like right away. Yeah.
We're talking about over 8-figure fights for each.
Okay, 8 figures is what?
It's like 10 million and up, right? Yeah, 10 million and up.
10 million and up, right?
Yeah, that's 10. Yeah, double digit in the millions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I hope y'all paying attention. This guy's a living, walking contradiction. I'm in the chat going crazy at this point.
Fighter, so this takes a while.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen overnight. These are deals that some people will wish to have in a lifetime. So these are just things that happen in the sport, and especially now that we have the Saudi Arabians and people from the Middle East, there's the way they handle business is a little bit more unorthodox than we're normally used to with promoters and networks from the U.S.
$11 million, my man. $11 million. What's unorthodox about that, man? Did he not call Turkey al-Sheikh a dictator, a dictator? Didn't he not do that? This guy is something crazy, but I'm gonna let him talk.
Are you still contracted? Sorry, Tom. Champ, are you still contracted with Top Rank, or is that alliance over with?
It's like yes and no. I guess that's where I'm at. It's a yes and no. I owe them promotional fees for the next 2 fights, but other than that, I could go anywhere, any promoter, any network, any type of deal, any fight, anywhere I could go. Yeah, but they'll get their cut out of the next 2 fights. This one in the early of this year, and we'll try to knock these 2 out early in the first quarter, so that way the next 2 quarters of 2026, I'm making lucrative deals and collecting at least most of the percentage for every fight.
Do you like fighting in Saudi Arabia, though? Do you like it there a lot, the whole thing?
To be honest, I just want to be on the limelight. I just want to be there. I just want to fight.
You heard what he just said?
Yeah. Real quick, there's another reason why I was a little upset too, because I told Rich, I know there's a bad relationship there and there. So that was Rich just trying to get to it, but I wanted to touch up more on that because he doesn't have a good relationship with Top Rank, because later on he talks about Todd DeBuff, that he doesn't like Todd DeBuff, so he kind of walked around that question as well, that the relationship and would he do it? I wanted to ask him, or Rich should have asked him, because we spoke about it, is like, do you regret signing with Top Rank? Because he's spoken bad about Top Rank, obviously, and that was one of the controversial things he said about how Top Rank only promotes black fighters. It was something to that effect that he said. So that was another thing I wanted to talk about as well, and we didn't get to it. So Rich kind of gave him the easy way out there. You know what I'm saying? Like he asked him about if he's still with them. We know he's still with them, but the relationship is not good. And he didn't really get into it. He only talked about Todd DeBuff, and he doesn't, like Todd DeBuff. And I think he mentions that later on in this one.
Another thing I want to point out is when he said he wants to fight in Saudi, he wants to be in the limelight. Hence the picture when everyone was sitting there in their tuxedos, and he's the only asshole in the back holding up that damn belt.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wants to be in the limelight, but he's not willing to do what's necessary to be in the limelight by way of performing in the ring. You understand? This is just like sick shit right here. And if you just let them talk, you see, understand, people, an interview is asking a question and let them elaborate on it. And then when they give you a bullshit answer, you just say the same question in a different form. Y'all gotta see, I understand. I'm not a journalist by trade, but I understand it. I also took debate in college, which is why I'll never do it online. I know what I'm doing. All right, I'm not gonna do it, but I know what I'm doing. I understand. And this guy was fooled. If I was on that panel, I'm not gonna scream and yell. I don't have to, but I'll get the questions answered. Y'all hear it. Y'all hear it right here. You'll hear it. Willie Lowe, Bomb Squad in the building. Salute. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to it.
That's really what it is. I'm at the point where I'm about to enter my prime, and I want the world to see a different version of me. I think you guys were all able to see that against an undefeated fighter like Arnold Barboza.
What different version? Listen to when he talks, y'all.
Mexican, tough, rugged, awkward fighter, and we schooled him, and I think that's
you
because
did.
I'm in the comings of going into my prime.
You did 100 in that fight. 127 of 574 punches. That's what you did. That's what you the highlight.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I'm not. This is my opinion, though. I'm not too fond on like combo box. I'm not.
No, I only bring them up because I know fans like to hear that, but I'm not a fan of them either.
No, we really don't. But go ahead.
I'm not too much of a fan on them. The Canobios, they're great people. Don't get me wrong, outside the ring, but in today's world, as you can see with the Ali Act and everything, you just don't know who's telling what the truth and what. So
yeah, now and you jumped ahead because you're bringing that up now. There's a lot of things going on with the Muhammad Ali Act and Dana White and the Turk guy. That act was supposed to protect fighters. What is your feeling about that? If you can comment on that.
If I can comment on it, I mean, like it's just strategies that those who have power are trying to demand. I think that those that are they got their balls hanging down to the floor and they just feel like they could drag them anywhere. And I
Yeah.
think that's the issue here. But
But he wants these super duper paydays. Can I ask y'all a question? Has anybody ever questioned the marketability of Teofimo Lopez? Anybody? I'm just asking. While y'all think about that, let me read my brother Eric Jordan, 2 years strong in that strong house. He says, good Lord, the female didn't want to give top rank, Teofimo didn't want to give top rank their cut of the 11 million. The female Lopez is afraid of the ninja sword, getting them dudes them dollars. I got you, brother. Where's my shit at?
Give power to my nigger sword!
Yeah, he definitely don't want no nigger sword. Ask his wife and his sister about that though. They know. They got some Ben Wallace looking nigga plowing them. Yeah, that Turk guy. Yeah, Aaron, you peeped that? The Turk guy pretty much came in there and made everybody kowtow to him. Because your fighters are looking to make a living. And if you got a grade A fighter and you're over there in Queensberry and his contemporaries over there on Top Rank, I bet you I can make those fights happen. We would if it wasn't for Turkey, we were never going to see Bivol and Beterbiev. Never. We're going on the third fight with them now. That Turkey guy, man. Stop, bro. Stop. This guy is doing too much, man. This guy is doing too much. And I want y'all to pay attention to Thomas' face there. Thomas, I could tell you was you was annoyed.
I was annoyed. I really was. It was really awkward for me. I swear to God. It was just, But what's funny? I gotta add the funny parts to this too. Is that like when everything's over, I'm texting people behind the scenes. There's a few people. Shelton's one. He's making me laugh. Drew, and the funniest one was KG, who I don't know if he's here yet. So he texts me, and then I texted back, and he calls me, and he gave me the most evilest laugh you can possibly make. And that's just like, you ain't shit. It's just like he was. I mean, it was crazy. I think he's gonna come on later when he's not busy. But yeah, it just.
I'm waiting on KG.
It was just crazy. And I don't know. Did I mention that my wife scolded me too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah. Oh, there go KG there. Yeah, perfect. He was just waiting. It's a jerk. But yeah, go ahead, Drew.
It's a bigger issue for the young fighters that are coming into the pros now. For guys like myself, I don't think we'll have that much of an issue. I think that for anyone else, though, it's going to be a lot harder if they pass this. It's not a good look at all. And I think that I think a lot of us should come into a petition or something in this sort and kind of fight back on it as far as all the champions and all the names that are in the game.
Now, wait, hold on, man. He's a living, walking contradiction, and I'm going to tell you why. Right now, what he's talking about is boxing, like this Muhammad Ali act and everything. Right now, what he's talking about is what I often talk about, boxing being a fraternity. If anything, you're supposed to help your guy eat, right? So before there was 11 million on the table, it was a simple unification for Undisputed between him and Devin Haney. He didn't do it. Even before Undisputed, he didn't do it. He wasn't trying, and he's still not trying to break bread with Devin Haney. And in this instance, the money that Devin would be getting has nothing to do with the 11 million he was getting. So please explain. Now you see, those are questions that I would ask him. What's going on with that? But old boy Rich was in the way, man. Shit.
Yeah.
I think we should all at least come together as a community, because who is
what the fuck? Oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
Come together as a community. I'm gonna show y'all something. For the rest of this interview, you see which way is Teofimo looking? He's looking to his right. Count the times how many he looks to his right. Just count it. Write it down.
the best fighter in the world is Muhammad Ali. Who do you think of that's been the pride and the heart of boxing? Muhammad Ali, for these guys that have came up and those that are around it now.
Right.
You see Muhammad Ali's face, Mike Tyson's face all around the world, and I think it's time that we defend that in our honor of what they've done for us, paved the way.
Well
But
said. Well
but
said.
many people are gonna get cut from it, and many are not gonna want to get cut. I'm used to being that guy at the front line of it and trying to defend, because we risk our life. Yeah, we sign up for it, of course. You know what I mean? But so does every other sport and athlete
I'm sorry, I meant his left, which is it's our right, but his left. It's our right, but his left. That's what I meant.
out there. I think that it's but we do it for the entertainment for everybody out there.
Well said, champ. Go ahead, Tom.
I got a few questions, but one, I want to go back. You was talking about the business itself, and you've been very vocal about the politics of boxing. What would you do if if you was a suit to change some of the things that are happening in boxing that you disagree with or you dislike?
I think the things that I could, and if I could change that, I'm aiming towards it now. It's more so about just letting the guys fight. I mean, stop trying to stop trying to put so much assets and investments on one particular person or item, so to speak, because we're like just a project or a product. Stop focusing on one just because you feel like they fit the image. Instead, spread them around like they used to, and just have a free for all. Let everybody fight each other. Yes, they get an X amount of amounts, but in the same time, we get to see who's the real deal and who's really not. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that we're seeing is that they put so much investments and money on one particular product that they forget that there's others out there that are working harder, probably even a lot better, and it kind of takes away the income, what they're really trying to aim for, which is the viewerships. Another thing, educating the fighters on becoming their own person, learning how to talk on interviews, learning how.
Wow.
You noticed something in this too as well that I've noticed last night, and that's what I kind of another thing annoyed. Have you ever seen Tio be so soft spoken when he
Never.
speaks? Never,
Never.
never.
Never. Mm-mm. Never in my
So
life. Never in my life.
yeah,
This is. I was literally listening to this like, who the fuck is this? This is a clone? This can't be the guy.
mm-hmm.
This oh my God, annoyed.
To every question turn that into an answer, and actually having them not look like rappers, for so to speak, having
Shots fired.
Mm-hmm.
Shots fired. Did y'all pick that up?
Yep.
Did y'all let me talk to the chat. Did y'all pick that up just now? Did y'all pick that up? I'm gonna bring it back. Listen carefully.
spread them around like they used to, and just have a free for all. Let everybody fight each other. Yes, they get an X amount of amounts, but in the same time, we get to see who's the real deal and who's really not. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that we're seeing is that they put so much investments and money on one particular product that they forget that there's others out there that are working harder, probably even a lot better, and it kind of takes away the income, what they're really trying to aim for, which is the viewerships. Another thing, educating the fighters on becoming their own person, learning how to talk on interviews, learning how to every question turn that into an answer, and actually having them not look like rappers.
Wow, you would prefer them to come out here and sound like reggaeton artists? You fucking asshole. Look like rappers. Who the fuck you think he was talking about? He couldn't have been talking about Devin. Out of everybody, Devin's the most well-spoken one of all of them. Who is he talking about? Did y'all peep that? Okay. What do I always say? Just let them talk.
So to speak, having them look more of a role model. I
Have them look like more of a role model. This motherfucker shows up to the Fatal Fury dressed like a fucking sharecropper. What the fuck was that? Now, I picked that up. I picked that up right there. He walked into the place like that, said, look at this mother. Look at him. Look at him. He came in dressed like a sharecropper. Does Rich know that?
Well, we brought it up after the interview, and I put the picture up because that was one of the pictures he selected for me to use. So we put pictures up, you know, when we talk about the fighters. And before this started, we were talking about Teo, and I only used 2 of the 3. But then I brought it up, and said, well, I wanted to ask him about this picture too, and I brought it up. So you'll see that, you know, after he gets off.
Like if you look back in the times of the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, they all were nice suited, had a nice look to them outside the ring.
Now he's telling black fighters to do something that he's never done.
Very charismatic, and they were all about the people. I think another thing is stop allowing managers, promoters to get involved in how to personally get with these fighters. I think they just need to treat us as the prize fighters, right? But not get too much involved emotionally on like, I don't like you, so I'm gonna sit you down or I'm gonna sit you out. Stop making it so much personal. Remove the personal with business. I think that we see that a lot today. I dealt with that a lot with Todd DeBuff from Top Rank. I dealt with that a lot with them, just because the guy didn't like us. And you know, obviously we're at the point now where we've scattered from it. We've ended that chapter, got nothing bad to say about the guy, you know, wishing him success in their journey on where they strike and where they land for a TV deal. But other than that, I think that there's situations where you guys a lot of people just need the fighters and let them be their own person. You know?
Yeah, it's all a business. That's what it is. It's become that big, not like years ago when you didn't have the money that's out there now and the streaming networks that do it as well. Speaking of that, when you go back in the past, as you were growing up, and got into this sport, and you have to admire a champion like you that goes in there every time and takes those punches and do what you do. Who did you admire? Some of the.
Let me stop right there for a moment. This mother effer, I'm trying to watch my mouth, is telling us, and I want you, because a lot of this is going over your head. Exactly, Tim. This goofball is telling us how to dress and how to speak, and he hasn't done anything remotely close to what he's telling us to do. When I say us, I'm talking about the black fighters. Do y'all see this shit? I hope you're paying attention. So once again, we got some clown talking about do as I say, don't do as I do. He showed up as a sharecropper with a straw hat, and when he was on the stage, he made a monkey comment. He was dressed in a clown outfit. Devin showed up with a hoodie and shades on. Did he say that shit about Edgar Berlanga or that shit he talked to Hamza Shiraz? Super New York, rang, 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 rock, rock, rock. Went in there and got beat up. Shiraz showed up in a suit. Edgar showed up like he was on the corner. Didn't help him in the fight either. But he ain't talking about Edgar. I promise you he's not. Now you see, these are things I would politely ask him. Well, hold on, T.O. I was at the Fatal Fury. You showed up dressed like a... What was that you was wearing, as a matter of fact? I would let him explain it. You showed up dressed as with that straw hat, and what was that outfit, T.O.? And just let him talk. You see? This is what I'm talking about, man. But let's listen.
The fighters of the past as you were growing up.
I admired, surprisingly, who I did admire was Mike Tyson for his rage.
Surprisingly, I admired Mike Tyson for his rage. Listen to when he talks.
Not the way he was able to express it out there, but the way that I was like, that is everything I am, but I need to learn how to control it inside. Another fighter that I actually did like a lot And was someone that obviously you could always think of as a textbook that you should always check and look into was Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali. Those two right there, the way they were able.
2 black men and an Asian. He didn't say Roberto Duran. He didn't say Cesar Chavez. He didn't say Hector Macho Camacho. I mean, at least Hector Macho Camacho is from Uptown. At least he was from New York. And I know he's not Boricua, but come on. There's 2 black men and Bruce freaking Lee. All right, listen when he talks.
Able to carry themselves outside the ring when people wanted to show their dominance as an alpha. And the way they just smiled and allowed them to think that they could do all those things and just required their energy to put into motion into something else that really mattered, which was an example, inspiring others, focusing on kids.
You know, that's a good question, Sugar Free Mars. Maybe, you know, I don't know everything. Is there any other Honduran boxer that's Hall of Fame? I don't know. Am I overlooking somebody? Somebody help me out with that.
I don't think so. I thought there was one. But off the top of my head, no. I thought there might be one. But nah.
I can't think of one. And you know what? Why can't he be frontline saying I'm the first? Why is he trying to take over the Puerto Rican Day Parade Saturday? Because he did say that.
Yep.
He wants to fight on the eve of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. He did say that. And that was way before Xander Sayas got to rolling. He said he wanted that crowd. And I'm like, oh shit. And then that's when people told me, oh, he's not Puerto Rican, he's Honduran. I said, oh, I didn't know that. I said, well, why the fuck? Okay. All right. I ain't say anything. But I know to Puerto Ricans, it matters, especially the ones in New York. It matters. But I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
And each one taught me many different varies of ways to live my life. I'd say there's so many that you could think of off the bat. Roberto Duran, another one. I think he shows an example of a champion's heart. He faced everybody, literally faced everybody. Went to multiple weight divisions people felt like he didn't need to go up to, and he still did. Became champion.
Thomas, he just said Evander Holyfield.
Yep.
You know what, man? Okay, I'm gonna let him talk.
Champion in those divisions. I can name so many other champions, so many other fighters, but I think you put all of them together, you figure out what character you want to be from them, and you put them into your arsenal, and that's what you get today with Teofimo. You know, I looked at each one in a different way on how to carry my life. Evander Holyfield, another one. You speak on financial, on how to move your money. You know, instead of buying a home that had 50 plus rooms, you know, you buy a home that is going to be affordable and pleasing and comforting to your level of finance. You know,
Is that the way you speak to young people and you approach many of them? I know they come up to you for autographs or whatever, get advice. Do you give them that type of advice when they can?
I've never seen anybody approach this motherfucker for an autograph.
Well,
Not yet.
I got to correct it. They do. And it's shocking, but yes, people come up, especially the young kids. I've seen it do it in the Hulu Theater.
Who are these kids? Are they
Well,
black?
these are New Yorkers. These are New Yorkers that probably don't even know no better, and then just New Yorkers,
Are they black?
No, mostly Hispanic. Yeah,
There
I
you
never
go.
seen. Yeah, so
There you go.
yeah.
There you go.
Front you how to be
Yeah.
the next Teofimo Lopez?
I tell them, like, because they say they want to be like me, I just say be better than me. That's really what it is. Be better than me. I mean, don't be like me because I did what I did. There's only one of me, but be better than me. Aim for a better. If you could become undisputed or become world champion at 21, like Fernando Vargas, or 20. You know, beat those prime guys. You know, beat us. That's the whole purpose of evolution, is to become better and evolve better with time. I don't want guys to do what I did. I want them to do it better and faster and quicker and nicer.
No, you've done you've accomplished so much so far at 28 years old. This takeover continues,
Okay, this is the part where I got mad.
and Teofimo Lopez unified the lightweight division. And when you can
Unified the lightweight division, y'all. You hear that?
do something like that, you put yourself into boxing history.
Now, Thomas, I saw your face, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is bad. This is bad. Damn, Rich.
Which you've done, and you continue to do that. And
I don't know, man. This game is tricky.
Yeah,
it's tricky.
Believe me, 43 years or more around it, I've seen how tricky it is. The shenanigans, the cutthroat, and how things could go quickly well and down. But you seem to always bounce back. You have the right formula all the time. You got your dad on your side, and you seem to always bounce back and just move on and accomplish what you want to do. What goes into that mentality with you, champ?
It's your bread and butter. No one's gonna feed you. You gotta go out there and make your food. You gotta go out there and hunt. You gotta go out there and make a living for your legacy, for your life, for your name. No one's gonna remember someone that quits. They're gonna remember someone that kept going, that never quit. I think someone that's strong and they could literally destroy their career and rebuild their career at the same time. That's something that you rarely see in today's world.
Right.
And not to rely on anybody, just on my faith. I really hold on to my faith a lot. My faith is really what creates all these miracles to happen in my life, creates the impossible to possible. What I've done is not by me, but by something much greater. And I always will rely on that. And then another thing, I think, when I think about all these things, even with the doing what I've done, just in beating 2 top pound for pound fighters, undisputed fighters, almost nearly. Loma almost became undisputed, but I took that from him. But just defeating guys like the Taylors as well, the Comeys, and everything of that nature, I think I can't rely on the people from the Hall of Fame to put me as a first ballot. I can't rely on that. So I got to keep going. I can't rely on people's perspective.
He's saying, yeah. Motherfucker, you supposed to be striving to go to the Hall of Fame. This is insane.
Perceptions and perspectives of who's a Hall of Famer and not. So beating a guy like Shakur, that's just another one of my columns. Let's keep him going. Let's keep ranking him up. And maybe one day because I looked at the media today. I look at media every day, and it's almost the same. Well, after I'm done in the gym, and it's almost the same. People throw out the same narratives, and eventually, when you keep throwing the same narratives,
it's a different world.
People are gonna believe.
Oh boy, here you go, Thomas. Here you go.
So, they may say,
I gotta ask you though. Yeah, I gotta ask you though. We got you here, and you can answer the question. So, like, you had an opportunity from what we see in the media. And what we hear, like, you had an opportunity to fight Devin Haney. Was that offer real? Like, what happened with that offer? Why
Devin Haney didn't work? It did not match. It did not match. Dude.
All right. I'm gonna continue letting him answer. Now you see, Thomas got the question out, right? Now I want you to watch this motherfucker face now. All right. He said the business wasn't right. It didn't match. You had a stupid ass belt. Now let me bring y'all up to speed. For those of you that don't know, don't remember, you D watchers, there was something called a franchise status that Lomachenko ducked Devin Haney to accept. Devin Haney ended up with the real WBC strap. He wanted to fight Loma for it. Loma said no. Let me get one of those franchises. He was accepted. The board voted. They gave it to him. All right. Loma said they offered it to me. I took it. WBC said no. You have to request it. We have to vote on it, and then we give it to you if we vote to give it to you. When we give it to you, you can't be the franchise status or the regular real champion. So he accepted the fake belt to duck Devin Haney. That's how Devin Haney ended up with the WBC real belt, and they started calling him the email champion instead of holding Lomachenko accountable. One of the rules was you can't lose the franchise status in the ring. Once you get it, you can go up and down in weight to test your mettle in any division you want to. But it's a special status awarded to you. And as soon as Teofimo beat Loma, they changed the rules. You could look this up. And all of a sudden, when he beat Loma, because we were still fighting in the bubble, we was just coming out the pandemic. they gave him that green belt. And I said, why are they giving him that belt? It's not transferable. The rules changed that like that day. Something like that. I said, yo, wait a minute. So now it's transferable? And that's when this dude started running around saying, I'm undisputed. No. Had Loma had still been a real WBC champion, if he won that night, he'd be undisputed. The problem was he gave up the belt to get the franchise status to fight Loma because he knew that Loma was the lesser of two evils. If I fight Devin, I'm going to lose. If I fight Teofimo with my injured shoulder, I may still win. And he almost fucked around and won. The second half of the fight, Loma started turning it up on him. I'm not lying about any of this. I'm not lying about any of this. This is how it happened. And then when Devin said, oh, okay, you beat Loma, I got the last belt. Let's fight. Teofimo said, I'm undisputed. He said, no, you're not. That's a fake belt. I have the real belt. Then he starts running around saying, I'm undisputed. He's not. Even ESPN said he was undisputed. That is wrong. He was never undisputed. And then when Kambosos beat him, he was saying he was undisputed. That is wrong. Devin said, all right, Kambosos, you up. Kambosos wanted everything, even fighting in Australia. Devin did that, went down to Australia, became undisputed for real, and then went and defended it down there for real. And y'all want to tell me about Teofimo Lopez? Does Rich not know this? I'm just some dude sitting up here in the Bronx. But Rich don't know this. He got 43 years of experience. He doesn't know this. This is elementary. So, yeah, this is what he has to say about the Devin Haney. He said the numbers didn't match. Which one, the first time or the second time? Ridiculous.
To the fact that certain things in the contract didn't go exactly as we agreed to. That's it.
Yeah, because you're not the A side, stupid. And he's talking about the 11 million. You was getting 11 million. Okay, put it out. What didn't match up? Do y'all ever recall him saying anything on his Twitter? Oh, they paying me 11 million, but they want me to do this and they want me to fight with one hand tied behind my back and any of that? Nothing. This dude is a liar. He's a coward. And he's a racist.
I dropped the ball on
I'm
this
sorry
one.
for
I should have asked. I didn't get to ask him during this and say what was how much was it? Was it 11 million? That's why I dropped the ball. I should have asked that part.
Yeah, but I'm still not even gonna, fault you for that shit either. Because you know what? If it was anything, the public heard 11 million. And if it wasn't that, what I know about these fighters is, if anything, if the number's not what it is, they put it on blast.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they ain't offer me 20 million. They offer me 5 in back-end money. He didn't say that. If it wasn't 11 million, he'd have said that. No, it wasn't 11. It was more like 5. And 5 is still more than what you claimed you made. These are his words.
everybody. I'm just not gonna be that guy to take it or leave it anymore. I've done it numerous of times. For me,
can you name one of the things that wasn't an agreement? Is that possible?
What wasn't an agreement? That wasn't possible. That was not possible. I think the weight was not. That was the issue. Why not just fight at 140?
He wanted to fight at 140,
no? They wanted to fight at 140.
Listen, y'all. Listen.
47 or 140. Not even like a catch weight.
I see.
Yeah. Why not just fight at my weight? Because they can't make 40 no more.
Hey, that's a very interesting point.
And after his last performance, why do I have to stoop down to your preference? Because of Devin Haney. If you think about it, Rich, champion.
Notice he said.
I was going to say that. Yeah, you see, because Rich is like, I don't say glazing, but he's glazing. He's like,
glazing.
yeah, that's a good point. And he addressed Rich. He didn't address me.
Yep. And I want y'all to listen, because it gets worse. It gets worse. Why should I have to stoop down? It's called being the B side. That's what it's called. And he wasn't asking you to do anything unreasonable. And you'll hear why in a second.
It's champion. Champion. Okay, think about a guy that has his throne. A throne. He's not gonna take out his seat. Come in here, Devin. Just because you have the people of the masses backing you up.
Just because you have the people of the masses backing you up. But didn't he just say about 5 minutes ago that he wanted that? In order to want it, in order to get it, you got to fight for it. Do you not? You have to take the spot, the takeover, right?
Yep.
And it's the second time. He could have fought Devin like 5 years ago. He didn't do it. He could have fought him for undisputed. He didn't do it.
He would have had a better, and in my opinion, he would have had a better chance of beating Dev at 135 than
At 35, yes.
Yeah.
That was a 50-50 fight at 35.
Yeah.
Right? And before I play this, y'all think I'm bullshitting. Wait a minute. Y'all know. This is 2018, y'all. Listen carefully. This is 2018.
Hey, Devin Haney made a comment, trying to make whatever it is. But at the end of the day, Devin, you don't know. The WBC is not going to have you, even if you do the competition, they're not going to have you fight for the title. You can get mad at everything. I'm fighting for the title after this fight, for the IBF. And then after that, me and Loma for all 4. And where are you? You're not going to get a shot, bro. And you don't know that, but we do. And that's what we did. I'm not going to fight more fights. So it is what it is, man. Talk what you got to talk, my dude. But at the end of the day, you're not becoming a world champion at 135.
You hear that? That was 2018, y'all. So it was okay for him to say that back then. So now Devin worked and he got into a position of power, and now he's saying he don't want to kowtow? Rich, did you know that? Did you know that, Rich? You see what I'm saying, y'all? This guy knows who to talk to. Because he couldn't come over here, and I ain't got to be belligerent and cursing him out. I can hit him with the facts. I bet you he don't even remember saying that. What about this?
Yo, Tio, we just get a Haney Kambosos. Who you think wins that fight, brother?
Oh, fuck. No, it's a made fight for Haney. Yeah.
In what way? What do you mean?
Huh?
What do you mean?
The whole shit was a scheme, bro. They had the zone. I was on the zone platform. They gave it to Kambosos because they knew what I was going to do with it. They knew what I was going to do. I was going to drop him. Then it's a longer process for Devin to become, quote-unquote, undisputed. It's all a game, man. They pay that shit.
Isn't it gonna be tough to win in Australia though? Like if it's a setup, isn't it when they set it up in America, not Australia, where why
everything's already made. It's everything. I had to see that for myself. So they already knew who won before they even fucking announced it. See the tapes.
Hey Tio, what advice would you give Dev though on what he's got to do in the ring with Kambosos?
Fuck Buffalo.
See that? What advice would you give to Devin, the American, right? He says, fuck both of them. Does Rich know about that? You see what I'm saying? But he wants to get up here and talk about how we're supposed to dress during the motherfucking interview? Are you kidding me? Now, am I a hater for pointing this out? Where's the lie? I ain't got to lie on this dude. Now, here Thomas is asking him a legit question, and now he tap dancing. Let's hear what he has to say.
Fuck you. I'm sorry. Sorry for my language, but excuse my language, but
no, that's all right. You can do it. I'll let you do it.
Can I counter that, Tio? I mean, I just keeping it real. You
just by doing. Look, I'm gonna tell you, Tom. Before you do that, I've done so much in such little that I've had people try to mimic it, but they can never duplicate it because it's for one guy only.
Who is he talking about?
See what I'm saying? Like he's trying to go around it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he knew already what I was trying to do. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why that's when it really became awkward. You know, because you're gonna see Rich cut in again when I counter with my next question to the
Yup. Here we go.
I don't need to continue on this narrative of trying to please the people because when they gave Kambosos the loss, everybody turned their back on me. Not everybody was really willing to see me anymore. They thought I was done.
You lost that fight after playing games with Trilla, you stupid. Oh my God. Stop talking like we don't remember what happened. I would bring up Trilla right here. Like, wait, hold on. You postponed the Kambosos fight on Trilla like 5 times. And then you got the nerve to get in there and lose. You did that. Backflips in the ring and the Hulu Theater empty. Cameras weren't even rolling. Somebody told me about that. They said, man, this nigga did a backflip. There was nobody there to see it. I said, oh, shit. But anyway,
Even when I came back to reclaim the world titles at 140, most of the boxing writers wrote me off. So I don't need to try to please. I'll do my best to make good fights. And what's a better fight than Devin Haney, me and Shakur?
Right.
Yeah, if that fight gets made,
Shakur is
that's a great
undefeated.
fight. Yeah.
Shakur's
I'm just saying the
undefeated.
reason
There's
why
no- Yeah.
the reason why people bring up Devin is because you guys have been tied together since 135, and it's and that's a top name as well. You can't get me wrong, but at the same time, you did want to fight Crawford at 147, right?
Whoa! What the
Y'all can go ahead and screenshot that right there. Look at his face. Right there. That right there. Look at his face now. That's the oh shit. You see that? In the words of Roy Jones, y'all must have forgot. What? He thought he was talking. Man, look, Rich can't save you from the truth. He can glaze. But God bless the brother, he's almost 70 years old. But age
he almost
is not an excuse.
Tio gave a nice response to this. I'm not gonna lie. He gave a good counter, but I was gonna touch up on that too. But
Rich
we'll
saved
see.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all gonna see. Listen to this. Now he asked about Boots.
I did, and then they didn't want to. They said 154 they were fighting at.
Yeah.
Right. We was going to 54. But you want now you see how he did that? He put it on Boots. So now Boots ducked Tio, right? Because he's going to 54, right? Okay, cool. But you still wanted to go to 47 because you knew that Boots would be at a disadvantage at 47. But you just got done saying that Devin at 47 is too big for you. So what's the difference between Devin having an advantage and you trying to get an advantage over Boots? You still went to Boots. And don't forget, Keyshawn Davis put you on blast. Turkey tried to get you to fight Keyshawn, gave him the phone, and you said, no, Turkey, I want Boots. He said, well, this guy wants you right here. And you hung up the phone or some shit on FaceTime. Please stop.
It went up.
I was willing to fight at 154.
Yeah.
So for Crawford, you fight at 147. For Dev, you didn't want to fight at 147. That's what
No. Wait, whoa. That Crawford was undisputed at 147. I wanted to fight Crawford for the undisputed. Reign. Yeah, Devin didn't have nothing at 47.
So what? You got to fight to earn your spot. That's a name. Devin was undisputed at 35. You ain't want to fight him. He came up to 140, beat up Regis Prograis, got the belt, got the WBC strap. You didn't want no smoke. So now you're the lesser name, the B side, and you're mad that no one's moving the way you want to move? Who are you? You haven't done anything remotely close. You want to go to 147 for Bud because he had all the marbles? You can't jump the line. Devin right there. You haven't done anything. How about having a warm-up fight against Devin? You ducked at 35-40. I have it on audio. You was purposely trying to make shit hard for him at 2018. I have it on audio. But we supposed to kowtow to you? He's accusing fighters of doing shit that he was doing right now.
7.
I got you.
Name a
That's
belt
right.
that Devin has right now at 47.
Right.
No,
Not
you're right.
Oh my God, name a belt that Devin has at 47. He's about to fight Brian Norman. But he had a belt at 40. He had all the marbles at 40, at 35. What are you talking about? You went up to 40, and I think he fought what's his name from Spain?
Sandor Martin.
Sandor Martin. And then you was left saying, do I still got it?
Mm-hmm.
How come you ain't go to 40 and say, Devin, let me get that WBC, let's work? You didn't do it. But you want to jump the line and jump into a Bud fight? Get out of here, man.
147. No.
147.
So why
No,
am I
not
gonna,
at all.
Why am I going to
No.
let go of my Ring Magazine world title,
Right.
right? And then my WBO world title to
Right.
fight Devin Haney just for the name and popularity. I'm not in it for popularity and fame. I'm in it to become the best fighter in the world. And
How are you becoming the best fighter in the world? You've been ducking Devin since 2018. Devin is a name. What are you talking about? Watch this. Tank Davis don't give a shit about belts. How come you ain't smash the gas on him? You call him a monkey and everything else. Man, these guys make me sick.
The only way you become the best fighter of the world is by becoming world champion in numerous weight divisions and against tough oppositions in your weight class.
Yeah, I think Tom.
But that's just my mentality of how I was brought up in boxing.
Right, and you know, you have that old school mentality, champ, and also I don't believe, and you know, I've expressed this to many people, many colleagues in the media, that they don't give you the credit that is rightfully deserved.
Oh,
Jesus!
My God. Tom, I almost threw my fucking phone across my
he was trying to address me in the beginning. I don't know what cut him off, but that was what I think that was his. To me, I took it that was his way of saying like, all right, let's go away from this a little bit.
Yeah, he was trying to tell you to chill. I picked that up. He said your name. He said, oh, you know, Tom. No, fuck that. You letting this kid off the hook. You calling him old school? Belt collecting? Thomas, please play what he said about Devin in 2018. Get it to him today. And then get it to him when they talked about what would you tell Devin about Kambosos? What advice would you give him? Fuck both of them. That's old school? Old school what? This guy's not belt collecting. This guy's not fighting for legacy. He's fighting for money. But he wants to fight for money in fights he could win. He knows he can't beat Devin Haney. And any Teofimo Lopez fan listening right now, I challenge you. I challenge you right now to tell me how he beats him. Because I have one question for you. Why has the fight happened? Before, when he had a majority of the belts, he could have played his position and say, hey, man, I'm the A side. Guess what? Devin would have still fought him. Devin already proven he'll take short money to fight. He already proved that. He already proved it. And if you think he beats Devin, why haven't they fought yet? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. And I'm disappointed with Rich, and I'm being respectful here. But I'm not lying about this kid. This kid is a farce. This kid is a farce. And Rich protected him.
And I've mentioned that to him. I've even written that up a few times too, champ. And I'm not kissing your...
Stop calling him champ. And let me bring it back. I want you to hear what he says. 18.
And I've mentioned that to him. I've even written that up a few times too, champ. And I'm not kissing your ass.
You sure? Are you sure?
And this is the first of a few times he says that.
This is bad.
I'm not, because I don't do that with any athlete, any fighter over the career I've had.
Oh,
I'm telling you it like it is. You don't get the respect that's duly deserved.
Yeah, but you only get it when you're either no longer competition. But by then, it's like, are you happy with what you've left behind? So you're either, everyone's like that though. It's what it is. I mean, when Kobe, name one right now from just outside of boxing, Kobe Bryant. People who talk so much about him and how he wasn't Jordan and he wasn't this and he wasn't that. But the moment the man left this earth, like how many people love and cherish him.
That's not true. People praise Kobe Bryant when he was alive. What are you talking about, idiot?
I mean, wish that he was still here to this day. I think it's just what it is. You come into that cloth of being.
Speaking of to this day, didn't he call Deontay out his name?
Yep.
He absolutely did.
No.
Does Rich know about that?
Probably not.
Unreal.
Great, and some people just can't handle that because you're competition. They can't have that mentality like you, and they just don't understand what it takes to be that. So everyone that's on the cool kid side is gonna go against the nerd or against the guy that's really devoted and determined on where he's gonna be in life.
What about that flip? You know, I love the flip. After when you do that acrobat.
Now he's talking about flips in the goddamn ring. Now what about the flip? I can't, bro. I can't.
Yeah, I lost it here.
I know, bro. I see. Yo, wait, hold on. I gotta bring that back. He said, "What about the flip?" Hold on.
gonna go against the nerd or against the guy that's really devoted and determined on where he's gonna be in life.
What about
I
that
see.
flip? You know, I love the flip. After winning,
Yo, you were done, bro. You were
I,
done.
and mind you, on top of this, it like my conscience was like telling me, I kept looking at the chat, and it's just like, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna get killed, man. I'm gonna get crucified. Like it's in the back of my head, and I'm just like, what can I do? I'm looking at my phone. I had on top of the keyboard there on the laptop I was using the questions there, and I'm just like.
Delano said Rich is not just kissing ass, he's eating it. Yeah, he is. You know what? His ringtone when he call you should be that Sukiana. Eating nigga ass. Eating nigga ass. That should be his ringtone. He's talking about flips now. This is amazing work.
you do that acrobatic flip. How did that come about again? And I
mean, I've been
worry every
doing-
time you do that you're going to get hurt, and you don't because you do it so well. You're an expert at it. How did that all originate? The flip.
We're talking about a flip now, y'all.
The flip. I mean, well, since I've been doing backflips since I was like 6, 7 years old. And
Now we're talking about Teofimo's backflipping skills, y'all. This is very important.
It's crazy.
the
Oh, by the way,
backyard, so
if you haven't checked, because I got to bring this up. I don't know if you followed this Dominican. He's a former fighter, Florentino or something. He got a nice. He's Mr. Suspicious. Check out his Instagram. He gets at Tank Davis with the black flip too, and he said that he's preparing to be a cheerleader or something like that. It's pretty funny when you get a chance. It's funny. I'll send you the thing. It's on Instagram, but he's funny. Mr. Suspicious.
Oh yeah, send me that. I gotta see that.
to do it with after school, having especially on the weekends, and then I think eventually I wanted to make and turn something into my own signature, and I started doing that every time
Yeah.
I won. Every time I won, that was a celebration type of victory
And it
lap
held.
for me.
It held,
And
yeah.
I just kept doing it, and then I took it with me to the pros, and then little by little I started
Took the backflip with him to the pros. That's important information, y'all.
practicing on how can I make it
God.
more special and spectacular, and I was doing a gainer, so off the one leg, doing backflips like that, and then adding Fortnite dances to it, just having a good time because you
Very
gotta celebrate your
important, the
wins.
Fortnite
dance.
You learn from your losses, but you celebrate more with your wins, and that's how you got to do it.
What have you been doing since, okay, let's give an example, champ. You finished up in New York with the Millions pay-per-view card and Danny Garcia. Where you been? You've been making the circuit, making the rounds, besides doing the interview with me tonight. What's keeping you busy when you're not in that ring and in the gym?
Well, my son, definitely, he's 3 years old. Next, Teofimo the fifth, keeping a long line of Teofimos, and spending that quality time with him before I got to go back into camp and make
Yeah.
those sacrifices that every father and every person out there that needs to make a living for their
Right.
family has to do. So just spending those quality times, taking them to the Broadway out here, taking them to different parts, taking them to Brooklyn a little bit just to let him see the places and the areas. People love him, love seeing him around, and on top of that, just making my ends. Getting calls every day from my team about the contracts, about me, Shakur, seeing what's the updates on
Yeah, everybody you need to avoid, right? Fucking
everything. So just a lot of good things. And then I'm heading right now. I'm at the Delta Sky Club here in JFK on my way
Okay.
to Las Vegas. I got invited to the Jabberwockies. They're also co-signed now and aligned with Puma.
yeah, that was my super chat. Yeah, that was mine.
Trying to see what we could do there. And then just got a call for TV Azteca to do commentary for a boxing fight in San Antonio.
Hey, see that? Millions got you. Now they have you, and
Yeah, TV Azteca, motherfucker. It's not ESPN. It's not FSN. It's TV Azteca. It is TV Azteca.
Who cares?
Fuck you talking about? TV ass Tecker. If you don't sit your ass down.
You've got a future behind the microphone. You know the sport. There's no doubt about it. You know the fighters. You did your preparation well. You got great insights. And what better than coming from a world champ like you? You know?
You know, and I'm very honestly, I'm very grateful for all of it. You know what I'm saying? Despite me not being able to fight at the moment, I'm still trying to make other ways to be out there. I love the game. I love boxing.
Yeah,
You know,
I
I
know.
love it with all my heart. I bled for it. I sweated for it. I've cried
know.
for it. So, you know,
Time I talked with you and the time we had a little time on Saturday night at Barclays Center, that passion for the sport comes out in you. I mean, it really comes.
Thomas, you know what?
Mhm.
I'm willing to bet that if he had Devin Haney sitting there, Rich would have some hard-nosed questions for him. I'm willing to bet.
Honestly, I don't think so, because he likes Devin Haney. He said really good things about Devin Haney when he bring him up. I'll be honest with you, the person that really gets at Devin Haney is actually Pedro, which is weird to me. Because Pedro's weird. He's consistent because Pedro's from San Francisco. But Rich, no, I think Rich would have done the same thing. I honestly think
so.
Yeah, I do.
I
Because he's
don't trust
actually
these
said really good
dudes.
things about Dev on the show. He doesn't. I don't think he likes Bill, but he has no problem with Devin.
I don't think, you know what? Based off of this, I don't think so. I think he'll say something good, but then when you get in front of him to move the needle on his channel,
Mm-hmm.
he'll hit him with a few hard-nosed questions, which Devin will happily answer. Because Devin's resume speaks for itself.
Yeah.
This guy's does not. Nothing that he's done, nothing's matching. Nothing is matching. None of this shit makes sense to me. This is crazy work.
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what's the difference. And it shouldn't be a difference though. With me and every other champion out there, I want the best for every fighter. I really want the best for every guy, every person out there, even if they're in my weight class. You know, I'll give them pointers on how they could even step up their game. Because, you know, what's the best part about doing what I do is making sure boxing is at the number one spot that it's in, that it's been in for a very long time.
He's so full of shit, his eyes are brown.
Great advocate. You're a great advocate for the sport.
Do you a great advocate for the sport? Are you hearing this? Not one time did he address the monkey comments, man. This the shit I'm talking about.
You might have a commissioner role one point down the line. Would you
I
like to
hope
do
not.
that? What do you want to do when you finish with your career? What is your ambition after boxing?
I would love to be a man of many traits, especially when it comes to boxing. Be a trainer, so I'll be a coach. I would love to be with USA Boxing and train the amateur fighters there as well, and really get into commentary on that stage.
No,
Statue.
I know you. I
Another-
know you. You got it in you. I just
You
said
know,
that numerous times. You have it in you.
Would love to be a
God.
promoter. Would love to do all these things, all in that. You know,
Yo, dead ass Thomas. I'm just gonna ask you, bro. He's straight. Is he straight?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
the money that I get now, just save enough to make these promotions start happening. And once I become free agent, you know, see which network, not promoters, but which network would want to be with Teofimo. The thing. I'll tell you right now. What is it? Yeah, I'll tell you guys right now. The problem with these young fighters, any fighter that is listening right now, any current champion, anyone that's on their way to become a free agent, if you're at a smart position and if you're at a point where people really like you, and if it's outside of boxing, it's maybe YouTube and TikToks, but then you generate those fan bases into boxing and do your thing in the ring, you don't need to co-align with another promoter if you're a free agent. You open your promotion and you find a way to do either one-offs until you build that. You work a good connection with everybody. You don't burn no bridge. All right, don't do mistakes that I may have had. If they say I burned bridges, I don't know where, but okay. But at the
He don't know where. This dude is disingenuous at best.
same time, you built it to where you show everyone, and then you make a network deal, even if it's a small one that maybe people don't know of right now. You get equity from their company. You find ways to do that. You show that there's value to it, and then you bring a whole stable of fighters that you may know or others may know, and you bring them all together. You find who could pay these things. You go to the bank, you know what I mean? Get a loan, do this, do that, and you get your own foundation of a promotion with a TV deal. And then with
That's
that,
it. Yeah,
and then with that, you're creating the income,
that's
not for
it.
others.
You're good.
And then another thing,
You're good for sure.
California has
Yeah, go ahead.
California has, despite California doing this act with the Ali Act, California has a what's the word that everybody needs? Like benefits, right? What's the proper term? What's the proper term? Hold up. There's a
Pension.
proper way of doing it, but that
It's a pension.
Protocol.
no. You know how certain
Pension.
companies, corporations, they have it. It's a
Pension.
it's
Health
a
Tom, can you help out?
Health benefits?
yes,
Health
but
benefits?
they have
The health benefits for fighters, which is a major
they
issue.
do, but they have that in California.
Now, okay, I'm gonna let him
They
talk.
have that.
I'm gonna share something with y'all.
And the thing is that no one really relies on that yet.
You know, I had Reggie Johnson on here years ago. And we talked about California being the only state that has a pension plan for fighters. They told Reggie Johnson, I forgot how many rounds. He's a few rounds away from getting a pension. Reggie is almost 60 years old. How the fuck does he look? Fighting about 9 rounds just to collect the pension. Think about what I'm saying. Main biker in that super chat salute, he says, sound like he trying to ask T-Ho what that nose do. D'Artagnan 8, I missed your super chat. Salute to you, good brother. Thank you so much. Thank you, D'Artagnan 8. He sent that a while ago. Thank you. Oh yeah, and main biker said last clip T.O. just admitted he was not undisputed. Yep. This guy told on himself. But he's talking about a pension. Now this nigga smart.
Right? To make sure that all the fighters have all these things that corporations give to people, as far
Insurance, health insurance. you're
as
talking
health insurance, Medicaid, well, not Medicaid, because that's on the other side of the world, but as far as, medical insurance, all those things that matter, right? Delta Care, all that. And I think people don't tap into that, but now they're trying to shave that by going out
Right.
to California. See, it's like putting all the pieces and all the puzzles together, and then they hate that I'm the guy that does that. But I don't care.
No, that's
Somebody gotta help these kids.
It's
man.
the business of
He did not frontline any of that movement, man. It's been around. Reggie Johnson been talking about that. Freddie Pendleton been talking about that. When I had Angel Man Freddie on my show, it broke my heart. Have y'all seen Angel Man Freddie lately? We spoke about that. He didn't lead the charge in none of that.
the sport. You got, a guy like you now, when you get out of the ring, they don't take care of former champions. They don't take care of the
They don't even
fighters at
take care-
all.
they don't
You
even
have
take
no
care of our-
pension.
we
You
don't-
have
we
no
don't even-
pensions. Other athletes, champ, other athletes in all the sports, as you know, and Tom,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I'm
they
not
retire and they have a pension.
USA don't even take care of their soldiers.
Mm,
So what is it? What they gonna do for a fighter? That
Right,
brings
right,
entertainment
right,
for any
right.
athlete out there.
Champ, is the sport, in your opinion, healthy right now, or does it
Yeah.
need to lure in fans more?
It's healthy. It's at a great position. We just need to, fighters need to fight for their heart of the love for the game. We're boxing.
What
You
the
hear his
fuck
voice?
did you just say?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Did that make any sense?
No, and you hear his voice. His voice is like, I feel like his voice is cracking.
Yes. Because he's full of shit. He knows it. He knows it. Wait, let me listen to what he said. Listen to what he said. Let me see. 9, 45, 9, so 44. Just listen.
Athlete out there.
Champ, is the sport, in your opinion, healthy right now, or does it need to lure in fans more?
It's healthy. It's at a great position. We just need to, fighters need to fight for their heart of the love for the game. We're boxing.
What the fuck? Bro. Yo, this is Homer Simpson's kind of dumb. He's so dumb, it's frustrating. He's dead serious with that answer. Because he's not doing any of that. He's another dude with contemporaries around him. And the toughest fights that he's had was people that weren't even on the goddamn radar. Who's that tall Japanese dude that made him say, I'm never fighting tall guys again? Katana?
I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
Yeah, then it was who? Fucking thanks to him, Sandro Martinez a threat. Then retired Mikey Garcia. Man.
Should there be more unity with the promoters?
Yeah, it's never wrong giving love and bringing all that together.
Yeah, shout out to Turkey Adashik who's done that, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
You can't in moments like that, if you can't beat them, just join them.
No.
Oh my God, Turkey's doing that. Is Rich paying attention to planet Earth?
Because years ago, as the old school guy, there seemed to be, you had division, but you only had two guys, Bob Arum and Don King. That's really the only ones you had that were putting on the major fights. Today, you got this one, you got that one, and then you have now the Turk guy that got into the fold.
The Turk guy is doing everything that we asked to be done. Now, is he perfect? No. But that Turk guy's giving us all of these fights, and Teofimo could benefit from that. God damn it. That's why I said this is a glorified dick-sucking show on his end. This is why I got annoyed with this.
With all this money and everything. Can that last and be a positive for the sport?
I'd just say don't rely on it.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you're or anyone else out there is trying to rely on, don't do it. You just can't rely on someone else's expectations. You can't rely. You don't know what they're expecting.
He wants to put the money up for the best to fight the best, and he's giving away these fucking $5 million belts that you ain't paying no sanctioning fees on. So you can win a fight, get the belt, and then pawn it and get a few mil and kick your feet up if you want to. Oh my.
Right.
You don't even know their plans and what was the reason. You don't even know why they purchased and bought 15-20% of BlackRock in 2021. Why? You don't know these things. And it's like there's always motives behind it. It could be always good, because I think it is. Turkey right now is doing a great job in co-aligning every type of sport into one hub, especially with Riyadh season or Riyadh season, or however you want to express it. I don't want to mispronounce it out of disrespect. I respect what it is. I think that it's great. So enjoy, take advantage of these times in every kind of way.
Go where the money is. You can't be blamed for that.
But I think there's young fighters that think that they already deserve that X amount of money now, and I think that's where they're wrong.
Right.
No, first you got to build something first in order to maybe have a talk or a say.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't build if you don't have anything. You can't say anything if you don't got anything. A world title may not just do it. You gotta have more. You gotta have more weight behind that.
Would you
Hold on.
like to see more? Tom, interject again before we let the champ go. Champ, would you like to see 15-round fights again, where championship rounds really are?
Put a 1 in the chat if you think Rich want to fuck Tio.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get to it. Put a 1 in the chat if you think you want to fuck Tio. Because motherfuckers is asking me. I don't know, I only know one way but to ask it. That's what they're asking me. It's not my question. Someone just asked me to ask them that on a text. So I'm just asking. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Rich want to fuck Tio. And I'll just let this play.
Mark?
I spoke to His Excellency of Turkey Al Sheikh about it, and I told him when it was me, Crawford, and David Benavides when we sat down in his farm home, and I told him why'd you decline it, and he said I don't want to have any injuries that furthermore destroy fighters, so their health by going those extra 3 rounds and it relying on me. So that was the reason. It's more of a safety reason, and I understand that. But then make it 13 rounds. Why not give it the extra round?
Well,
Why
you know
not
what?
do it? Why not do it 13?
Go back in the
to break
past.
the
They
draw?
used to do that. You know, when they had 15-round fights back, did you know? And I think you would know this. That if a fight was a draw after 15, they went to a 16th round to decide it. Did you know that?
It makes a lot of sense of what overtime boxing is doing.
Yeah. Tom, any final questions? I don't want to keep the time.
I got a few. I mean,
I don't want to tie him up. What time is your flight?
I want to bring back, so you're speaking about like helping other fighters and stuff, and talk to me a little bit about the Cops and Kids program and how they may have helped you. And then let's go back to like you talking to other fighters. Like, does any of the things you say, do you have any regrets for any of the things that you have said that may have been controversial?
Now listen to this. You heard the question. You have anything to say or any regrets or anything that you said that was controversial? Listen to his answer.
As far as other fighters?
No, I don't regret anything. I just learned from it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't regret anything. I just learned from it. If you don't regret anything, what are you learning? You just said it because it's the correct thing to say. Learn from what? What are you learning from? If you don't regret it, what do you learn from it? You only learn from something that when it's a mistake.
All you can do. You can't. If you live in this world with regrets, it's always gonna eat you up. You gotta find ways to just learn that it was a mistake. If it is that. I just grew up the way I did. I grew up.
You hear him talking, right? I just grew up the way I did. You know what he's talking about, right?
Hardcore. Where words didn't really hurt you. It was more of the action. But in today's time, everybody's opinion matters and everyone's words hurt. So for that say, I can't understand that, but all I can do is work around it and make the best out of my career now moving forward.
What would y'all think if while I was talking to him, I said it with a smile on my face? I'm like, man, you spicks, boy. You spicks are something else. What do you think would happen to me? That little part would go viral.
Do you suck dicks?
Well,
Now, when it comes to Cops and Kids, when it comes to others out there, when it comes to police, athletic leagues around the world of U.S., let's just say not around the world, but around nation. I think the beauty about it is that it's giving us a chance to fight, right, and stay out of the hood, stay out of the streets, stay out of problems, and have a well-rounded moral support at the same time. But at mostly importantly of it all, you're having to understand your self-discipline, right? Learning what discipline really is, learning what respect is, learning how to be a mature young man, and how to carry yourself for the near future as you get older. What I always loved about that. And that as long as you're in school, they don't charge you. For most places, they don't charge you. As long as you're in school, you're doing your education, and most of those coaches, they would ask you about your school reports and see how you're doing in school. And if you're not doing well, they'll kick your ass in the gym.
That's right.
So
it's made boxing over the years and continues to be that way, champ.
And
Mentality, discipline, it's the best thing for a young person. I've seen it over the years. Guy comes off the street, goes in the gym, and becomes a champion. What's wrong with that? That's
Everybody that's successful in boxing ain't from the fucking street. Stop saying that.
Great. That's
No,
great.
yeah, it's the honest truth. And if there's any other questions, Tom, you know, I'd love to answer. I do have to leave in a few, but
Yeah, I want to. Well, one.
Now he said Tom. Now why the fuck is Rich talking? What the fuck, bro? He specifically said Tom. Why is Rich? Oh boy, I'm telling you, Tom. He was trying to fucking save face.
No, that's definitely what he was doing. You know, just he wanted to. Let's put it. He thinks he is another thing, and this is what I had to explain to my wife as she was upset with me, is that he doesn't know how this all works as far as what the media is now and YouTube and stuff, and he's trying to build his channel. So he thinks having these interviews with certain fighters will bring more attention to him. And I was like, that's not necessarily how it works. I mean, he did an interview with Keith Thurman early on this year, and I thought that one was pretty good. I mean, he basically just let Keith Thurman talk. He didn't let me on that one. And I tried to explain to him that's not really how it works. So he wanted everything to be positive, because when I first initially brought up that I wanted to ask him certain questions, and I was trying to explain that I didn't really want to air it to my channel, he was like, no, we got to, because you helped me, this and that. That's why I emailed him the questions that I did, so he would see what I wanted to ask him, so to kind of, you know, this is where I wanted to go. So, but his point of view was that he wanted to kind of build a good relationship with him, so that he could come back and that people would like him, or like I don't know, but he thinks that this would help him grow on his channel. That's basically what he was trying to do.
This is a fail on his end.
Yeah. And then when he didn't think Tio was going to come, he was not really excited to do it. I don't think he really wanted to do the show, because Tio kind of didn't respond to him the whole day, yesterday up to it. So that's why we kind of changed the title, because the original title was saying he was going to be live, and then I changed it to say like we was going to talk about Tio, right? So when he popped up, it was a surprise. You see in the beginning, I was like, oh, there he is. And and we kind of mentioned that after this is over, I told him, like, so he was really worried that he was going to come. So that was his point of view on it, and that's what, to his, I guess, credit, you know what I'm saying? But that's why, in my mind, that's why I didn't really want to air it to my channel, because I knew that if I would have asked him some certain questions and we would have had some sort of dialogue, he might have left, or it could have got really bad or ugly, whatever it was, and Rich didn't really want that.
To all of the people listening, if you ever get an opportunity to interview anybody that has done something controversial, the key phrase to use, and I'm just going to give y'all this little gem when you're interviewing them, you always put it in the public's lap. What I mean by that is, whatever's being said by the majority, you go with that. So they don't necessarily, you could feel how the public feels, but they don't necessarily put it on you. And the phrase you asked, you formed the question in this phrase exactly. What is your response to A, B, C, D, and E? The public says this, and that. What is your response to that? That's it. That's it. It's fair. It exonerates you from a lot. You may feel how the public feels, but just ask them. Just so you can go on record saying, hey, man, I asked a question. This was his response. Your opinion at that point is not important. I wouldn't tell T.O. how I feel. I would ask the questions and get him to start talking so you can hear it yourself. Fuck out of here, this fucking guy.
That's why, like,
one thing we got to do.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was saying when we did the interview, the other awkward interview we did, where at least the guy answered the questions, even though he sort of didn't. But I could have asked whatever I wanted, and I was still respectful of the whole show, which was BVO when we did Floyd Schofield. Like, that was another awkward interview, but I was respectful. But I asked, I was able to ask the questions I wanted to ask him. He just kind of dodged them and gave weird responses. But
right, and you know what? The people that are paying attention, they'll see he's dodging.
Mm-hmm.
But you asked the question. If he dodged, that's on him, and he got caught.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have a proper response, you just respond. You know what I'm saying? I would ask him, what are you doing with these monkey comments? First thing I would have asked him early in the show was, what was that? I was at the Fate of Fury. What was that outfit you had on? Who thought of that? Yeah, I thought that was funny, Tio. Who thought of that? What was you doing? It was kind of cold that day too. Yeah, out here with just overalls on and suspenders with no shirt and a straw hat. What was you doing? And just listen to what he says, and then ask him, where'd you get the idea for that? You see, I just cornered his ass. Fuck out of here, man.
Do is give you the fact of the week. No one comes off this you have to answer the fact of the week.
All right, now this fact of the week is not important. This is where I got turned off. Is there anything else you want me to look at in this interview?
Unless you go to the end when he leaves, and I tell Rich, like, you know, I let him know, like, listen, you were too nice. You know, that's pretty much it, to let people know that I wasn't happy with it, but I was, you know, obviously respectful, but I wanted to let him know, like, you know, this is what.
All right, I'm gonna play it from here. Let's see.
He looked like he was a little upset with me. He's like 12 times. Like,
No, maybe no. He'll let me know. He'll let me know through a text. But I just wanted to get him on. It was great to have him on. I had my doubts, but he came through. Great for the program. Great for you and me, of course. And the fans. I hope they enjoyed his insights.
He said great for the program. That was his goal. Right. So I don't know if I said it after or a little bit before it, but I basically says, like, listen, you kept saying you wasn't kissing his ass or something like that, but you were. And I had told him that. And I was, you know.
You did say that.
So,
let me go back.
Yeah.
I think you did say that. Let me go back. Okay, because y'all did a commercial.
Bro.
You got it. The takeover of the champ, Teofimo Lopez. Keep it in the ring, my friend. Thank you. Yeah. I'll be in touch. You know, Tom, I think I'd said it all. You know, we saw a different side of the champ right there and giving his opinions. You know, we still don't know if it's a definite, which scores Stevenson, but it looks like it's leaning towards it, though, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, Rich, I wanted to ask some questions, and I know you was trying to discipline me a little bit, but I think we let him off the hook a little bit because I was getting somewhere with the Haney and then Crawford.
Yeah,
and then, you know,
I didn't want to make him.
He went around it a little bit, Rich. He went around it. He said that Haney didn't have anything, but then Crawford, that made sense, but there was other fighters there that he was trying to make fights with boots, but you know.
Well, maybe next time, Tom. Next time around, because I.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck that. I mean, come on.
My goal now is this: what I want to do is to try to get him. So, like, to see if he could get me. I don't know if he's going to do the show. If he does it with BVO, then we can ask him tough questions, and BVO is going to do what BVO does. But maybe I get him. But if I can get him to do it, even if I tell him we don't do live and I'll do it a straight recording, I'm going to do that. If not, the next time I see him, because I do see him at the fights, and even after that little weird altercation, it wasn't an altercation, that weird I guess dialogue we had at the end of the Michaela fight. After that, he's seen me and I've seen him, and we both nod our head, no pounds or nothing, and we just keep it moving. You know, so we acknowledge each other, but he just moves along. You know, so the last one was at the Xander fight. He was there and he just gave me like a nod, and I gave him like a nod, and we kept going. You know what I'm saying? So I think the next time I'm gonna go up to him and say, hey, it was, you know, good speaking with you, but how about you come on and talk to me, just me and you. You know what I'm saying? So I could ask you some of these questions and you answer them the way you want to answer them. You know, so that'll be my next approach. No guarantees, because I doubt he'll do it. But, you know, and then I'm going to see if Rich can set it up just for him to come on my show, like, because Rich has done that in the past with other people. So, you know, that's what I really want to do. So,
yo, block. Well, I did it already. Don't worry about that. Some dude named Fight Fury Films. Yeah, you're gone, buddy. If you don't know why this interview is getting critiqued or criticized, rather, then this ain't the place for you. All right, it was a good interview to a degree, because it let me know the difference between what we do here and the old style of this man Rich. And I say this, you know, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. And the question I asked, somebody texted me and told me to ask that. And why not? I'll just ask that question, because this wasn't Thomas doing, clearly. I read the questions, and you can hear, and Thomas, you sent him those questions too, right?
Yeah, because when I send it to you, you see his response was on top. It just leads it off. So I copy the whole email, and you'll see like on top he said we'll discuss later, and we discussed it.
Exactly,
That's
which
basically
means
what it is. Yeah.
he didn't want to scare this kid off.
Hmm.
So next time he's on, he'll go to his show before he'll go to your show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he'll definitely do that. But the thing is, he's gonna fucking avoid you. He's gonna avoid you. You know,
I think what we'll find out for sure if he really would do it is if he does do the show with BVO. Because even though BVO came to him as a fan, just like kind of Rich did, but BVO's, he's not an older gentleman. He's just another guy, and maybe to Tio that'll be like, oh, this is a guy that probably want to get me and for clout or just try to make a viral moment or whatever. So we'll see if he really does do it. Now I know that Tio's done interviews with other people that I know, and I was gonna bring their names up and transition it to the thing. I had it all played out what I wanted to do. I wanted to transition to the guy because I grew up with a fellow that he's really cool with from the Bronx, and he was like one of his main guys. He's not working with Tio anymore, but he was, and I was gonna bring him up and tell him like I knew him like from back from Theriot and Leland Avenue and stuff in the Bronx, like and we could have had like a dialogue and then related to like, yo, why did you say what you said to me after the McKay? If like that, I already had that in my mind, and then I was going to bring up the trainer that said that to show that there are people that do rock with him, but then there are people that don't like the certain things he say. Like that was like my mindset of what I wanted to present and speak to him about, but I never got the chance.
He this is why it came off as a glorified D-blowing contest. And he read those questions and he wanted to make sure you didn't get those in. Now, he could say, I didn't want to scare him off or whatever. But if he does get another interview with Tio, I'll be watching because you got to get those questions in, Pop.
Yeah.
You got to get those in because that's what the quote unquote streets want to know. And by the way, BVO, brother, if you're listening, make sure you wear a suit and tie because he don't want you dressing like no rapper.
Yeah, you see,
you see that?
Yeah.
You see how that works? Not stop dressing urban, but this motherfucker shows up dressed like a. Now you see, because he said this on the show, he gave me some more ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want people dressed like rappers at the press conference, but you show up with overalls, no short, and a straw hat. What was that about? Oh no, that was just entertaining. You see what I'm saying? Do as I say, not do as I do. Looking ass. See what I mean?
Hey,
so
the only good thing about this is that if the fight with Shakur happens, then he told the truth and he revealed that's gonna happen if it happens the way he just said. If it's in January in New York, like the rumors are, if that happens, then it's good. And it's a good fight, and it's a name fighter, but he's tailor made for Shakur. I don't see him getting a chance, but
no,
I would have told him, listen, the name of the program is Keeping in the Ring, right? I would have told him, listen, I think you're a great fighter in the ring. I think you've done some great things or whatever, right? And I say that pretty much about any fighter because I don't like calling fighters bums and trash. I don't like doing that, right? Because they'll whip my ass. So how can I do that? That's just my mindset, right? But outside of the ring, you got to be held accountable for some of the things you do and some of the things you say, especially when you're one of the top guys. People look up to you, so.
I like how he said he's giving advice to people, but he's not taking his own fucking advice. 11 milli? Come on, man. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. You duck, bro. You duck. Well, Thomas, I ain't gonna hold you. I gotta go lay down.
Oh shit. Okay.
I gotta go lay down.
Well, no, I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you giving me a chance to kind of explain it to your audience who, I know some of the people rock with me because, I rock with you and and we've known each other for
forever,
for a long time. A lot of people may not know that as well, and we don't always agree on things, but we talk behind the scenes and we can always talk it out. Like I may say stupid things and you may say dumb things, and at the end of the day, we're gonna be cool. Like this YouTube thing and this social media, it's a lot of it is gimmick. You know what I'm saying? And we go out there and a lot of it is hobby, and we like what we do. But outside of YouTube, I can never say anything bad about you. You know what I'm saying? So, and about a lot of people, and especially if I met the people, you know. So, and then to go back to like what happened earlier in the week, where there was like kind of like an incident with one of the dudes, and you know he's cool, everything is cool. Is that I don't want people to think like just because we have like an interaction or a disagreement or something that I'm going at anybody else. It's just a disagreement, bro. Like, you know, so that was the thing. And, you know, and like I said, we cool and all, but I've like, my thing is this: if I met you in real life and we've been at fights, like Drew is a different because I've known him already, you feel me? But like I met BFTB a few times, 78, you know, D Free, even BVO. Like if I met and we established a relationship in person, then you know what? I'm not gonna go out and disrespect you ever. You know what I'm saying? Unless you come and disrespect me. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? And if I have a problem, then we have a conversation about it. And I'll go back to one thing, which is I think is the best example is, you know, I kind of agreed with what Brian Norman Sr. had said when we had interviewed him, right? But I didn't agree with what he wanted me to do. And what he wanted me to do was to go on BFTV's channel and play the video that he wanted me to play and say, and I was like, BFTV is my guy. Like I could never do that. You know what I'm saying? Like why would I do that with him? It doesn't mean I have to, you know, I could disagree with him, but I'm not going to go ahead and try to make a fool of myself or try to make him look bad. Like, you know, so that's the way I am. So like I know other people, if they had the opportunity, they would have loved to do some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's what I want to let people know. That's the type of person I am, and I think that's the perfect example because I have nothing bad to say even about Brian Norman Sr. except the fact that why you want me to do that to
that
a
was
friend of
crazy.
mine, you know? So so that's it. I said I told you I agreed with what you're saying, but but
You got to, you know what I'm saying, go over the top and start, you know, creating unnecessary bullshit. You know what I mean?
yo,
You
look what
know?
I got. This is from Junior the Truth. Like I support a
That's
lot of
good,
different
yeah.
channels, right? And look, this is his sweater, and because DP Rocket said Thomas is solid, and that's what it says. If you know, I don't know, I guess you can see it, but yeah, it
I
talks
can see
about
it.
being solid. You know, so you never have to be anything else if you remain solid. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I aim to be. And anybody that's met me or we spoke on the phone or whatever knows that that's just the way I am. So.
Yeah, I just felt it was necessary because this interview could have been anywhere, and I'd have still critiqued it the same way. But I felt it was especially important because you were in it, and I'm glad that you had enough time to get on here and clarify what was going on because I watched it and I'm like, man, this dude is over. You know, it was his show, and he stopped a lot of that shit from happening. And I knew what you wanted to ask. I knew. And Tio felt comfortable. Even when he said your name, Rich interjected. I said, man, I already know what this is, man.
Yeah.
I already know what it is, man. But, you know, I just didn't want to put you in a weird position. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I did the live. You know what I'm saying? But, man, yo, bro, you know, it's much love, bro.
Yeah. Let me get one more thing out for the people that's still here. I know people are not gonna like this one, but please, I've met BVO twice already. We've had a good time at the fight. I met his wife and my wife. They talk all the time. BVO's a good dude. I know he says certain things, but BVO, you know, you can't really take him seriously that much. You know what I'm saying?
That nigga play too much, man.
Yeah, he does. He does play a little bit too much, but BVO is a solid individual. Like, you know, he said he was going to come to the fight, and he did, and then he said he was going to come again, and he did again, and he was there. He got a good relationship with the Hackett's, right, with Jaleel Hackett and his father Bernard. I mean, I think that's pretty cool within itself. We got a good relationship, even because I know Bernard, I think deep down doesn't like me as much, you know, and that's fine. But he was very respectful. I think he doesn't like it. I could be wrong, but like just ignore BVO if he gets to you. That's just my advice. He's not really a bad individual. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I gotta, you know, clean up a little bit after him sometimes, but I'm just,
hey, listen,
I'll vouch for BVO. So
you know what y'all don't know? When Hamza Shiraz beat up Edgar Berlanga, they were gonna talk about the fight, and I looked at my phone, and I'm just gonna say BVO put something that was very disrespectful. They were bigging up Hamza because he came to New York and did a certain thing, but the meme was OD ridiculous,
and I didn't pick up on it until he told me. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I saw it. It was like it was an upcoming for the live, and I saw the meme. I said, "Oh shit!" And I never forget it. I was in the gym and I called Tom. I said, "Yo, did you see this? Because I know you didn't do this shit."
I didn't. Yeah, and I don't do. He does my thumbnails. He did the thumbnail for this one. He does them for me. You know what I'm saying? So he helps me out a lot as well. You know what I'm saying? As well as me helping him out. But he did it. But when I first saw it, I thought, oh, this is cool. This is New York City, whatever. I didn't realize that the buildings were burning.
Yo, you know what he did, y'all? This motherfucker did a meme of Hamza Shiraz standing there with his hands on his hips, and in the background was the World Trade Center with the holes in the building. I said, you do not put this up, bro.
Yeah, and I didn't pick up on it.
Yup, and it was on as like you know, we're coming on later and shit. And I called Thomas. I said, bro, you see this? Hell nah. And when you told me who did it, I said it figures. You got to tell this nigga to chill, bro. That was crazy.
It's funny because Bernard be telling him all the time to chill too. So, you know, but I think people kind of understand. Listen, he was worse. He was worse years ago. We got it. You know, he used to say a lot of crazy stuff. You know, but he changed. He changed a lot. And you know, BVO's a good friend. I'll tell you that much.
It's gonna hurt him, man. He gotta calm down. That World Trade shit. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And when I'm looking at it, it was for your channel. And I said, oh, no, I know you didn't do this. So that's when I called you. And then when you said, nah, I got BVO doing things, I said, oh, shit, see? You fuck around and get you in trouble.
Yeah.
That shit is not cool, bro. That shit is not cool. But I'm glad that it got changed because, you know, if y'all don't know, Hamza Shiraz he's of Pakistani descent or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Muslim. Nah, that would not have been good, bro. That would not have been good.
And in my mind, and when I saw it, I just thought, oh, okay, it's just a picture of New York City. He just fought in the city. Like I didn't pick up on it. So.
Oh shit, Snacks B was in one of the. Oh man, see, bro.
Oh wow, see, I didn't know that.
See that?
Wow.
You see, Snacks. You know where I was? I was called from the Bronx. We flew down the West Side Highway, and I stopped at 72nd Street because I saw the dust in the air, and I said, man, we ain't got no goddamn mask and shit. And I knew it was in those buildings. So we had to double back, and I was transporting firemen up and down the West Side Highway that day. September 11th, I was at work that day. So salute to you, Snacks B, and I'm glad you're okay, because a lot of people inhaled that shit and they ain't make it.
Yeah.
Real. That's real shit, man. That's real shit. And I'm just glad that I was able to scroll down and see that shit, because seriously, that was mad disrespectful. I'm glad he didn't do it. I'm glad. You know, BVO.
And I think a lot of the stuff that he does, and a lot of people that do this stuff is AI generated. So you ask AI or these apps to do it, and they present it. So maybe you know, I don't want to make excuses for anybody, but
he specifically did that shit.
Yeah.
He requested that and put Hamza Shiraz's picture in the middle of it. I was like, ooh, no, don't do that.
Yeah, because he always joking with me and saying the Bronx is always burning and stuff, and you know, so that's you know, that's just a kind of like an inside joke, because I make fun of Cleveland, he'll make fun of the Bronx. So,
well, yo, I'm gonna get out of here, man. Thomas, let me know how they can find you, brother.
Well, you guys can find me, you know, TD Sports Talk on YouTube. You'll see me in the chats. You know, anybody that rocks with Drew, I'm pretty much in the chats as well. You know, also catch me with the usual suspects, man. Me and my man KG, we haven't done a show in a minute. We're gonna get back to it soon. Tales from the B-side. That's one of my favorite projects. Yeah, that's one of my favorite projects we got going on. So I dropped the ball this week. I had 2 guests lined up, and I just didn't follow up. So I'm gonna try to follow up today. If we don't go on this Sunday, we'll try to go on during the week of the following Sunday. But that's probably the one besides the radio I'm on. I think Tales from the B-side is the best thing, because you get some real stories from fighters that've been on the B-side, and you know, some of the crap that they had to go through. You know what I'm saying? And negotiations. You know, from being at fight week and stuff, you know, from going to overseas and getting, you know, women lined up for you to go, hey, pick one. And like one fighter told us that, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so like that's something we're really, I'm really proud of. And, you know, be alert for that when the next one comes up. You know, I got I got the ones we did so far on my channel in the playlist. So, you know, check those out if you haven't.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Go subscribe to TD Sports. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Bear Cave Entertainment. Let's run those numbers up. I want to get half monetized over there. Let's get it up to 500. You know what I mean? Go subscribe to my Patreon. And you already know what time it is, man. Thomas, man, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
We're going to talk later. I'm about to go take another nap.
All right, I bet.
The General's on, y'all. Bronx on deck.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.